Hello everyone, welcome back to another Geoguessr tips and tricks video. This time it's over Australia. I've already recorded it once and the file corrupted, so this is my second take. Let's just get straight into it. Okay, so this is not the best first starter, but the best thing to recognize Australia is two things. One is the all white road lines. You'll see often double white and then the outer lines being white, or just pure white road lines. And the second is eucalyptus trees, which in my Spain video, I said you see a lot in the Galicia part. In Australia, Australia is the hub for eucalyptus. If you see eucalyptus, think Australia immediately, no matter where you are. But then find somewhere to dismiss Australia, because Australia has eucalyptus trees everywhere. Where New Zealand, South Africa, or even the US, which could be often confused for Australia, they do not have eucalyptus. They just don't have it. So the license plates, I will get to a bit more in a different round, but the yellow license plates pretty much just means New South Wales. So if you see a ton of them, you're in New South Wales, and often like near Sydney or here or Wollongong or just around here, around New South Wales. Okay, so concrete poles. About 60% of all concrete poles in the entire country are in the Victoria province. So if you see a concrete pole, honestly, just send Victoria. If you want to see more tips and tricks videos, whenever I hit 500 subscribers, I will do a single tips and tricks video that goes over every country in the world with more detail than what I do here. So let's hit that. Okay, so two things. One, the Australian bollard looks like the Turkish one, but a bit longer. But you'll never confuse them because Australia looks nothing like Turkey. We see more eucalyptus, which fair enough, but this giveaway sign you see a lot across Europe, although it doesn't say giveaway. But this is unique to Australia because New Zealand has the giveaway, I think, in a red text. So it's an easy way to distinguish the two just by a sign. And then Australia is mostly desert. Pretty much from Adelaide, you can draw a line to like in the middle of New South Wales and then just up Queensland. East of that is pretty much green, and west of that transitions into a more reddish soil, reddish soil and less vegetation. So we first of all, it's tropical. Two, it's very green, so we're going to be in this very east area. It's not Tasmania. I'll get to Tasmania later. But we've narrowed it down already, and it's not going to be near the mountains, which the mountainous areas of Australia are pretty much the center of the green bit. The mountainous areas are pretty much just the center of the green. You can see here goes all the way up to the very top. So we're not going to be there, so we're going to be either directly on the coast, pretty near, or just like anywhere else there. So we'll probably just be in the middle of New South Wales or something. Yeah, near just it's just there. Speaking of the mountains, we are in a hilly and mountainous area, which means we're gonna be in that area that I talked about. A lot of the mountainous coverage is near Canberra because the capital is obviously gonna have a lot of coverage to just go around Canberra, at least for that specific hilly round. Okay, so we're in a big city. You can tell because there's a crap ton of houses everywhere. But everything is more of a red tint. We have like red soil, a reddish road, even like reddish trees. For a big city, that's not too common. It's also tropical, which means that we are going to be on the coast, being a giant city. For reddish soil, that pretty much just leaves Perth and Adelaide and Darwin. I'll get to Darwin later though. I'll just say it's not Adelaide. Adelaide looks much different to this, so this is Perth. Perth often is just a normal Australian big city. Can be confused with like Sydney or something. But if you see a lot of red tints and tropical trees, I'd go Perth. Okay, so extremely red soil, which means we're going to be like in the west, the upper south, or just the northern territory. But it's very green vegetation, but with very red soil. Seeing this grass, just sorry for the bad quality on this round 2. It's not very good. But these plants just growing in the grass like this exactly. this is like Darwin type area. This is up near Darwin and just the entire surrounding area. And there's not many roads here at all, so we can just line something up. We're not too close to Darwin, so we'll be around here. And coincidentally, this lines up pretty well onto more plates, but also something else. So we see a yellow plate, New South Wales, right? But we only see one, only one. We see a lot more of a plate with red. The red plate is the other Australian plate I'm going to talk about, because all the other ones besides New South Wales and then the Northern Territory aren't as easy and distinct. But red plates is Northern Territory, from Darwin down to Alice Springs. It's not too red. It's more of a desert, and we see a lot of like, dunes, and it's very sandy, very red too. Kind of hilly as well. It means we're gonna be in Alice Springs because it's a big town in the Northern Territory that's not pure red soil. So that's not just super red. So it'll be Alice Springs. I think that's gonna be right here. Okay, so this is a part that's not even on the Australian continent. This is Christmas Island, which appears actually quite a bit. There are three main things about Christmas Island. One is the Google car. This truck, only found in Christmas Island. Two is you'll see a lot of Australian things, like the chevron, left side signs that are English. And three is like the blinding white roads and the greenish camera. Everything has kind of a green tint, except for the road. Christmas Island. Okay, so the climate on this one's immediately a lot different than the previous ones. This climate is more cold. This is the type of climate you'd see in like New Zealand or all the way in Chile. Which for Australia, because we have the bollards, eucalyptus, and the road lines, we are in Tasmania. That's what that means. Okay, so this road's very iconic. The the outback rocks and bushes that look like this. When you see these like bushes everywhere, you already know where to go. Also, there's coast over there, but that's not my main thing. Because this road, very iconic, is also very long. Is the road that goes all across the south bit of Australia, and you could tell because it's not too red, and the vegetation obviously. And if you're close enough, you can see the actual coast, which we're pretty close. Okay, so this round, a very rural Australia. We're not gonna be too far. We're not gonna go like on the coast. It's not red either. This type of round, you see the trees, very long road, and just like there's nothing going on. The soil's kind of red, but also more just normal sandy, light brownish tint everywhere. We're not too far west, not too far east. Probably gonna be in like middle New South Wales, middle Queensland, like right here, just around there. That's what that type of round is usually. Now time for some car meta. Also, black on the bottom, I think, is a Western Australia thing. But the red car, this specific like maroon crimson car, is pretty much a Western Australia exclusive. You can see it in other places, but very common in the West. Very common in the West. So, just like the earlier round, we have the Darwin grass, reddish tint and everything, but we have very big vegetation. So instead of being a road near Darwin, we'll be very close to Darwin, because it's more green, not as red, and there's a lot of cars. We'll be pretty much in the city of Darwin. Okay, red soil, not a red road, but red soil, like no vegetation anywhere. We are in the dead center of the outback. Well, not entirely, because the outback is more of a desert. We're not really in the desert, which means we're not gonna be in the pretty much the northern or the South Territory. We'll be in like Western Queensland or Western Australia, which is where we are. Because Queensland, I mean, there's just nothing going on here for so long. We are in the outback, but not the desert part. We are in the west. We might even be kind of close to the coast. I'm not sure actually. And we actually were. Okay, this is one of the most iconic locations in Geoguessr. Because this first thought will not be Australia. My first thought would be like maybe like Lithuania or weird New Zealand. When you see a lot of pine trees like this, lining the road, and a very white blinding road. We are in the place of Mount Gambier in Australia. This specific like area, a lot of the time you see pines lined up for a while. And yeah, so if we just try to line up a road like this or something, yeah, that one makes more sense. But yeah, Mount Gambier is very iconic. Okay, so now time for some camera generation. Australia is one of the only countries in the world that has Generation 1 camera. This is actually, believe it or not even Gen 1 camera. Gen 1 camera is like, everything's blurry, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about Gen 2. Well, the Gen 1 camera is usually around here. Gen 2 camera is more specific. Very uncommon. But the island of Kangaroo Island has only Gen 2 and only Gen 4. And it's also recognizable. This is what it looks like. Don't know too much how to explain it. Like a lot of unpaved roads with kind of an outbacky landscape, vegetation. That's the right word. But this is Kangaroo Island. This also does kind of look like this little peninsula here. But yeah, this is Kangaroo Island. Okay, lastly, we have a Google card meta. This looks just like Christmas Island, except not as like hilly or so. This is the Cocos Islands, this island chain. We could probably just find a road that fits this. But this is the Google card for the Cocos Islands. So yeah. So we just try to find a road that lines up. Which just give me a second. Yeah, I'm giving up. Yeah, I mean fair enough. Okay, that is it for the Australia tips and tricks video. If you want to comment down below a country that you want me to do tips over, and if I'm able to do it, I'll probably do it. But yeah, I'll see y'all next time.